Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. And of course, there's Tayo Salam right here with me in the studio.
Yes, sir. It's great to have you join us again on Sport This Morning. It's a very loaded package, and of course, we're starting off with updates on the D Tigers camp. The coach of the team, Mike Brown, has invited 49 players to their camp in California.
And he did this 30 days to the commencement of the Tokyo Olympic Games. 49 players.
Wow.
During the show, we'll reel out the names of those players that have been invited. Surprise names there. And Anobi is one of the shocker that is on the list.
A lot of NBA players, it must be said, on this
from
list.
the NBA. That's where you get the best of the players.
Of course.
Also on the program, yes, DeAndre Ayton. He dunked with less than 1 second to play. And that was how the Phoenix Suns were able to stun the Clippers, who tried to steal the game despite being, playing second fiddle all through. But in that moment of the game, DeAndre Ayton had other ideas. He dunked that. And of course, that spectacular pass for Jay Crowder was just the moment of that game.
Yes, you can say that again. Terrible, terrible way to lose a game. That's for the Clippers after rallying to almost winning that particular matchup. Cecilia DeAndre Ayton is the man on the lips of a lot of Phoenix Suns fans this morning with just 0.7 seconds left. That was all it took for DeAndre to get the Game 2 victory for the Phoenix Suns. They now lead the series 2-0. Also on the show this time around in the Euros, England, of course, beat the Czech Republic 1-0 to finish top of Group D.
They didn't have a choice. Just finish top, and whoever is runner-up in that group of death will be their next opponent.
I mean, so you wonder if they should perhaps have, you don't want to lose a game on purpose.
Because you got Germany, Portugal. I'm just like, okay, we'll talk about Euros later because it's a whole Group D. That group is really tricky because you have the world champions, European champions. Everyone's actually in the group. All right, we'll start up with a countdown to the Tokyo Olympic Games. Yes, it's 29 days to the commencement of the Olympic Games, and we're all ready for it. For that because presently 30 days, if you're using Nigerian time, yes, it's 30 days. Today's 23rd, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it starts on the 23rd of July. So 30 days to go until the opening ceremony of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Cecilia, like we said yesterday, barring any major disaster, the games will finally commence in Tokyo. And that's why we've decided to start our countdown to the biggest multi-sport event in the world. You recall last time out last year, we did start a countdown.
But
unfortunately, we started way too early.
Shalara just kept telling us. They kept saying about the pandemic.
Yeah.
Well,
it wasn't meant to be.
It was right.
But we're back again now, Cecilia, and it looks like the games will indeed go ahead. Teams have started to arrive in Tokyo already, and camps a lot of camps have intensified preparations for the games as well too. So it's looking very good for athletes all over the world and fans as well too right now. And talking about
the
preparations.
Latest, preparations. International Olympic Committee, IOC Vice President, he has arrived in Tokyo, actually visiting the Arike Gymnastics Center in Tokyo. The countdown, of course, opening ceremony begins just 1 month to it. It's a 12,000 persons capacity venue that will host the gymnastics as well as the Paralympic Croatia during the summer games. So organizers said, well, this week they're limiting the numbers of people watching, spectators, just 50% of capacity. That's 10,000, as we mentioned yesterday, at each venue. Well, for this is actually to help, for this particular event, that's the gymnastics center, they will see about 6,000 spectators. And the IOC Vice President, John Coates, is there to, to just take a look at some of these centers and how spectators will be seated and just more like putting finishing touches to different venues across Turkey.
Yeah, Cecilia, it's more like a routine visit for the IOC Vice President John courts, and this is of importance to us as well. That's the gymnastics venue, because we're going to have a Nigerian for the first time taking part in this particular sport, Uche.
Yeah, Uche, of course. This is where he will be competing.
There you go. So, yeah, Uche, don't worry, everything's going to be fine, and you'll be going to the Olympics. Nothing is going to change that. So there you go. The Olympics is just around the corner. You can stick with us for all the latest, during the countdown to the biggest multi-sports events in the world.
Right.
All right, let's come back home now.
Let's talk about those athletes from Nigeria that have qualified for the Tokyo Olympic Games, and no other than Ese Brume.
Yes, I know. It's a bit of a rhyme there.
Ese Blessing. Yeah. They've all qualified.
Yeah,
you have 12 athletes now. Yeah. They've qualified. So, I mean, that record that she broke, Chima Jones' record, when she broke that record, still feels like a dream to her. Coming down to the national trials that ended on Sunday in Lagos, she also jumped 6.64 meters. But she just had 3 jumps and she just went to rest, so she didn't have to sweat it out at all, because I mean, she's already qualified for Olympics. This is just like for her to, keep in shape.
Yeah.
Having other athletes like Ruth Usoro. Ruth Usoro was also, and the first time she's come to Nigeria since she got the scholarship to the US to study. And you also have Mercy Uyoyo. She was also part of the squad. The American, how do I put it? The athletes that studied in the US, all of them were actually here for the national trial. And of course, they all stole the show, especially with Ruth Usoro. She started from here, when she was, I think, 12 years old then. The first time I met her, so young. And right now, she's still, part of the squad that are going for the Tokyo Games. She's qualified for the triple jump and also the long jump, so which is a cool one for Ruth Usoro. Jumping here, I think, to 6.24 meter mark. That's what she got. 6.4. But thanks to remember.
Anyways.
That. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but for Ese, Cecilia, I think it must be said that she's one of Nigeria's brightest medal hopes at the Games, and she's been in great form. Culminated in breaking Chima Jones' record, which stood since 1996
Olympics.
Right, 7.17 meters. It was a world lead as at the time.
Yeah.
Not sure if anyone has bettered that mark, but that just tells you the kind of shape that Ese Brume is in going into the Olympics. Hopefully she can peak. There's still a lot left in the tank for her to perhaps get on the podium. Let's take a listen to Ese Brume now. She's reflecting on breaking that incredible record set by Chima Jones 25 years ago. And she's also been talking about, aspirations and hopes of getting on the podium in Tokyo.
It was exciting, I didn't expect it at that moment. I knew I was going to get a record, but I didn't know it was going to come this fast, this soon. And I'm so thankful to God, and I'm thankful most especially to my coach, who has been my, backbone. He has been very, very supportive, Mr. Kayode. Let me use this opportunity to say thank you, sir. I love you so much. I'm glad, to compete alongside with them. It's been a long time, and, we're just here having fun, enjoying ourselves, doing what we know how to do best, encouraging each other, and hopefully by the grace of God, I'm praying that we'll be together at the Olympics. I pray hopefully that things go smoothly as the season, goes, and hopefully by the grace of God, we put up a better performance at the upcoming Olympics. I'm hoping by the grace of God to be able to break my PB, to better myself, and also by the grace of God to be able to climb the podium. And
yeah, podium finish. That's what she's targeting.
Why not?
I'm happy that she's not just alone. Yeah, plethora of other stars that are going to the Olympics that are definitely in top shape.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure now.
If she jumped that 7.17,
that should be good enough.
That should be good enough.
Yeah.
Because Chima Jones' record was 7.12. That won a good medal in 1996.
Yeah. It's like I said, Cecilia, it's just about for Ese now not getting injured and peaking at the right time in Tokyo in the next month or thereabout. We wish Ese Brume and, of course, the Nigerian contingent to the Olympics all the best. We still don't have an official list yet, but we know the majority of the guys that have qualified, that have made the Olympic standard. So we're still waiting for the sports ministry to release the official list.
That should be after 27th, I think. That should be after 27, which should be after the MOC release, which on 27. So let's say by Monday we should have a list, or Tuesday next week.
We'll see.
All right, let's leave Ese Brume and the girls and talk about the Tigers. Yes, 49 players. So the coach, Mike Brown, well, that's why
I understand.
I don't know how he's going to do that, but then how many players do you really need?
I understand. Okay. You need 12.
He's got 49, and he needs 12 to go to the Olympics. But how will he be able to pick them out? If we can reel out the names, selected ones, I guess, because there's so many. Where do you want to start from?
Okay, so let's just start with the NBA players. There you go. Monty Morris.
Yes.
In case you're wondering, I'm not aware of any Nigerian link for this guy who plays for the Denver Nuggets as a point guard for them, but he's on the list, and that news came out a few months ago. We thought, okay, it's just mere reports. But there you go. That's Monty Morris headlining the Tigers invitees to the California camp. There's also Mia Oni from the Utah Jazz, OG Anunoby, as Cecilia mentioned earlier, of the Toronto Raptors.
Great Britain. Remember?
Yeah, well, OG Anunoby, of course, he's got Nigerian linkage as well. There's KZ Okpala from the Miami Heat, Precious Achiuwa. Okay, these are names that we are familiar with. Proper Nigerians. Udoka Azubike as well, too, was here in Nigeria before traveling out to America, plays for the Utah Jazz. Jalil Okafor, the Detroit Pistons. Josh Okogie, Minnesota. Gabe Vincent, actually plays for the D Tigers already. Alfaru Kominu, Jordan Nwora, and Chimeze Metsu of the Sacramento Kings. So, Cecilia, those are the players from the NBA.
And of course, you have other players from across Europe. Festus Ezeli, you have Ike Tio. Festus Ezeli, is he fit now? He was injured. I don't know how.
He's had a lot of injury worries.
A whole lot. Obi Emegano is also there. Ike Rebo, of course. Michael
Ogbuni. Okay, that's Michael Ogbuni.
All right.
Okay.
Zaid Hest. Ike Nwamu. That's another player we're used to. Michael Beniji, of course. That's the player we're used to. Talib Zana. Emmanuel Omogbo, Christian Mekulu, and Toye Jakiri. You have Abdul Malik Abu, Chima, Moneke, Menze, Egegese, and you have Kalib Agada, TK Dogi, and Joshua Ajayi. These are the players. Yes, it went on and on. Meru, Michael Eric, of course, plays in Turkey. Yeah, he was part of the squad for the qualifiers. Uchenna Uyebu is also part of the squad. Ike Ndugba is a draft prospect for 2021 NBA. Okay, Mike Okari is also there. Ben Uzo, yes, he was with Rivers Hoopers for
at the ball.
So he's coming in really fit. Michael Ademuni is also there. Aminu Mohammed and Mani Obaseki, Elijah Olani, Chibuzo Agbo, and Gideon George. These are the players. You have Ekbe Udo is also part of the squad. Clifford Omori, Emeka Okafo, Steven Dominigo, F.P. Agbogidi, Warith, Alatishe, and Mackenzie Mbako. These are the players invited to the camp. Yes, some of them we're not familiar with, but most of those players, the NBA,
this is ridiculous.
Across Europe, we are familiar with some of them. So 49 players.
This is ridiculous.
To the California camp in the USA ahead of the Tokyo Olympic Games. Attire is still amazed by how he had to invite all of this. Anyone.
Cecilia, I just see the only justification I can have for this is that perhaps not all of them will show up in camp. 49 players. I mean, we're talking of...
They said they started arriving camp since on Sunday, so...
Yeah, how many do we have in camp?
How many do we have? I think we need to find out.
There's no way all these 49 guys are coming to camp. I'll be very, very shocked if that happens. And we're talking of times where teams are already finalizing the 12-man roster already. We saw the United States were pretty much done and dusted. Just one more player needed to commit. You know, and you're talking of 49.
Okay, the thing is that Nigeria is in Group B alongside Australia, winners of the Olympic qualifier tournament in Serbia, and of course, Croatia. These are, I mean, it's okay. All right, well, let's just leave it at that. Maybe by next week we should have, or maybe 2 weeks from now, maybe the list will be going down. Then we'll know the final players that will be representing Nigeria in Tokyo Games. The game starts July 23rd. But basketball, of course, is not starting so early. But while other teams already know at least the players they have, we're trying to see how many we can have. 49.
So and before we leave the Tigers, they'll be taking on the United States in a scrimmage July 10. That's the date for that one.
James Harden and Kevin
Cole,
Durant.
all of them was there again.
Curry's not going.
No Curry.
No Curry. No LeBron James, so no CP3, so it's cool. So KD, can deal with KD. And James Harden. Bama Debayo.
Bam, they're all there, Cecilia, man. That American squad is something else. But
you can even beat college boys and they'll still beat the very best in the world.
Exactly. All right.
Let's leave that and stay with basketball. Now the NBA, talking about DeAndre Ayton, the man of the moment who had to, they all came to the party. That's the thing about the Phoenix Suns. Everyone. Yes, Clippers also did the same, but it was more like who wanted it more. I don't know how to describe this game.
That's it. Confirmation of the results. West Finals, 104-103. Game 2 victory for Phoenix, and they lead the series at 2-0. And Cecilia, it looked for a while that the Clippers would have successfully rallied rallied to go on and win this game. 0.7 seconds left until DeAndre Ayton, jammed in a Harley hoop from Jay Crowder.
The inbound pass. I don't know how Jay Crowder did that. I think that was just because he was over the rim right there. It was easier for him to just slam it home.
It's a Hail Mary situation, Cecilia. You're down 0 points with
0.07 seconds left.
And you don't have any other choice. You can't start passing it from there. So you throw it all the way to the rim and hope for your big man to do the rest.
And it was right
there. And that's exactly what DeAndre has done. So...
All right. When the big man scored 12 points in the first quarter, on his way to having 24 points on the night, 12 of 15 shooting, in addition to grabbing 14 rebounds.
No, he's had a fantastic playoff series. DeAndre, it's been forgotten for a while now. 2018 was the #1 overall draft pick. But from that set, we've talked about Trae Young a lot. We've talked about Luka Doncic. But
now we're talking about him now. Because you didn't have Chris Paul, everyone had to even Devin Booker on the night was just 5 of 16 shots from the field. But then you had
stepped up.
Cameron Payne also stepping in Payne.
29 points.
We can talk about this game for the whole of the show, right?
Yeah, but
you can say,
let's keep quiet now.
Let's get Postman's reaction from the game.
Credit to Jay. We were trying to get a lob for DA, and he had the awareness to just put it up there where DA could only get it. And Book sets a great screen. Jay makes a great pass. And it's just one of those things that happens where you're just grateful for it, the will of our guys to just stay with it. I didn't think we played great tonight, but we made enough plays to win the game. So there was a lot of things that happened. I got to watch the film to make sure I'm not confused by all the events that happened, but it was unreal execution at the end. And for us, the mental stamina to just stay in there and not give up when it looked like it wasn't going to go our way.
That's definitely Jay's game winner. Making a great pass or a 7-footer. Other than that, Coach drew up a great play where, I was in the best position. My teammates trust me and my coaches trust me. And, great Book set a great screen, that freed me up into the lane to at least gather my feet and go for the ball. And the rest is, just off my athleticism and my talent, Jay set it up right there perfectly.
But we just had no answer for Cameron Payne. He really got downhill all night. His speed and his quickness really hurt us, in that game. But like I said, we have made some adjustments defensively. I thought they worked. I thought we did a great job. Offensively, I just thought we hurt ourselves, early on, not moving the ball, not making the extra pass, over dribbled a lot, got down late in the shot clock a lot of times. So defensively, I thought we were great. Offensively, it was a little better second half, but first half is really what hurt us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to put too much on that. Obviously, it was a opportunity that was missed. Pat made an unbelievable play that put me in position to extend the lead. I'm always confident at the free throw line. I've always been very successful in clutch moments at the free throw line. Tonight, I was just unsuccessful extending the lead. So I'm not going to put too much on that. Fact of the matter is, we still were in position to win the ball game late in the game.
All right, welcome back. It's just of note that DeAndre Ayton happens to be a Nigerian. His father is a Nigerian, but the mom is Jamaican and from Bahamas. Okay, but he represents Bahamas.
Yeah,
he's 23 or 22, right?
Still so young, yeah.
Still so young.
Yeah.
Don't we just have a DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah, as a center, right?
Okay, yeah, as a center, big man. Okay, let's talk heroes now.
Yeah.
And Bada Akintunde Johnson will be joining us on this segment. Bada, good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Morning, Cecilia. It's good to be on the show.
Okay, let's get into it. Just start with the games from yesterday. We'll have a confirmation of those results, what happened last night. England needed to win. Yes, they won. And, of course, Scotland needed a win, but they lost. And Croatia, Czech Republic are actually topping before the games were played. Now finished third. This is a confirmation of the result. Group D, Croatia and Scotland. Luka Modric was in action there, 3-1. And Czech Republic and England. It was all about Ryan Sterling again, rescuing England against Czech Republic. So let's start with the game between England and Czech Republic. Yes, Ryan Sterling was the one who got the goal, but the MVP was Bukayo Saka. Bada, what do you make of this spectacular young man so far in Euros 2020?
Well, every time he's got his chance to play for England, he's taken it. He's played 4 times for England. He's been MVP in 3 of those matches, so it's no fluke at all. Gareth Southgate made the changes, brought in himself on the right side and Jack Grealish on the left side. And both of them were, in the first half, the best players on the pitch. Saka with his fearless, direct running at defenders, taking people on, running into spaces, picking the ball in between the lines, and just being direct to goal. That was something that England lacked against Scotland, and he brought that in abundance in this game, playing in place of Phil Foden. Obviously, Phil is the more skillful, more silky one, but sometimes what Saka brings to the game is exactly what you need to open up defenses. And he was very much involved in the goal that they scored. It was his cross that Jack Grealish played back into the box for Raheem Sterling to head home for 1-0, and it was the only goal of the game. Overall, the first half was an exciting watch. The second half, not so much, because both teams knew they had qualified. The Czechs didn't see the reason to go and chase the game because obviously they have one more game to play. Their left back, for instance, got an unnecessary yellow card, which rules him out of the very important game in the next round. So I guess everyone else just sort of took it easy from there. The second half just sort of petered out. Not much to report, not much to excite. But overall, I feel like this England team hasn't shown championship stuff. They haven't convinced me that they can go ahead and win this championship, especially if you compare them to the Italians, to the French, maybe even to the Germans. We've seen more exciting teams all round in this tournament, teams that have created more chances. Harry Kane still hasn't got into the mood yet. Maybe he'll click into gear in the latter stages. But on the positive side for England, like I said, they made changes on the wings. Those changes worked. They brought back Harry Maguire. He got 90 minutes. He's always going to be key for them in defense. Unfortunately, towards the end, I think John Stones limped off, injured. Let's hope that's not a very serious injury. So even Jordan Henderson came on in the second half and played a part in it, scored a goal that was ruled out for offside correctly. Gareth Southgate has the full complement of his team, and everyone has had a taste of action in this competition so far. Even Jude Bellingham came on and played.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like they are top of the group. They stay in London for the next round. They would have 40,000 plus people in the stands backing them for the next game. But they will have to raise their game significantly to beat either of France or Germany. If Portugal holds France and Germany beats Hungary, Germany will top the group, France will be second, and France will play England. And that French team, before England can get past them, they will have to do something they've not done in this competition. They've only scored 2 goals, but they haven't conceded. To beat either of Portugal, France, or Germany. England will have to score a lot of goals and keep this shutting out of teams going. But I mean, they just haven't convinced me yet, even though they've got the business done somehow.
Yeah, you're right, Badan. That's exactly what the coach, Gareth Southgate, has admitted as well, to that there's still a lot to come from the 3 Lions. Let's take a listen to Gareth Southgate now, speaking ahead of that very, very interesting round of 16 clash against Germany, France, or whoever comes second in that group. Of course, we're going to get to listen as well to Bukayo Saka speaking after his man of the match performance against the Czech Republic.
Yeah, these will be different games. We know world champions, European champions, and Germany, who to me look like they're back on song. They've brought some very experienced players back in. So whoever we play, really, really tough opposition. But we've sort of known that for 18 months. We've known the route through, and the good thing from our point of view, I think we're still improving. We look difficult to play against. There's more to come from us. We've got more match minutes on the pitch for some important players, and that squad depth is going to be important, because I felt like we've run out of steam a little bit in a couple of the games, and to be able to make the changes and the substitutions has been really helpful to manage the games.
For me, I think I just try to stick to what I do all season. Of course, it's a big game, and I think probably one of the biggest games in my career easily. And I had all day to think about it that I was playing, but I have faith in God, faith in myself, and I have the backing of my manager, the backing of my teammates. Everyone believes in me. They encourage me and stuff like that. So when you have all of this, it just gives you confidence more than it makes you nervous.
There you go, the man of the match, Bukayo Saka. That was against the Czech Republic. Of course, later tonight, we'll see our Group F pans out. It's going to be Germany, Hungary, Portugal, and France taking on the 3 Lions in the round of 16. That's the fixtures for tonight in Group F. All right, let's go and talk about, still in Group D, let's talk about Croatia and Scotland. Bada, Croatia had to win against Scotland, and that's exactly what they did, led by their inspirational captain, Luka Modric.
Well, we saw the Croatia that finished second at the last FIFA World Cup in full display. They were pouring with so much quality, and like you said, Luka Modric was dictating the pace of the game from the center of midfield. They dominated the game from the first half, scored the opening goal, but I think Scotland dug in and pegged them back late on in the first half. But in the second half, it was all Croatia. The Scots just couldn't get close to them. They played a very strict 4-4-2, like they did against England. But for a lot of times, they just were standing off the Croatian players. They weren't putting pressure on the ball. They weren't charging them down. They were allowing them to pass. The first goal, Croatia strung 20 passes together before they scored. The second goal, 20 uninterrupted passes. So the Scots were merely spectators watching the Croatian team run rings around them. And if you stand off quality players like Luka Modric, they are going to hurt you because he doesn't need to be in the penalty box or so close to goal to find the back of the net. The likes of Kovacic, they were just, they were pouring with quality, as I said before. The gap in quality was so apparent between Croatia and Scotland. And Scotland were full value. It didn't matter how long that game went on. There was only going to be one winner. Matter of fact, the Croatians will be kicking themselves, wondering how they lost to England, because as far as I'm concerned, they're a more balanced team on the evidence of their last two games than the English team.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Perfectly well.
Yeah.
Well, let's leave that and quickly move to the group of death. I mean, that group
today.
Today, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting is the fact that any of them can still top the group. Anyone can still qualify. It was expected because when you're drawing the world champions or European world champions, the past two champions, France and Germany together in same group. It was expected that this group is going to be a very, very tough one. What should you expect from France, for instance? Because they are favorites to win this. Even Germans were not favorites going into this game because of what has been happening to the team. But for France, they actually need to top that group.
Well, the expectation is that they do, because going into this competition, apart from Italy, they were my favorite. They were everyone's favorite. They are world champions. They have some of the best players on the planet. Their first game, they beat Germany, the team that one would have expected would give them the biggest worries. But inexplicably and carelessly, they were lethargic against the Hungarians and managed somehow to draw that game, which then means now that they are condemned to win against the Portuguese tonight in a remake or rematch of the last Euro Championships final, where they lost on home soil to an extra time goal. So the French do, of course, have it in them to beat the Portuguese. I think they're the better team, but the Portuguese also will not give up without a fight, knowing that they need more than 3 points to actually qualify. The other teams that have finished on 3 points are waiting to know whether they progress. The only third place teams that have actually qualified outrightly have qualified on 4 points. So the Portuguese know that to be absolutely sure of qualification, they need at least a point against France. And a point for France would mean if Germany beats Hungary, as we expect, Germany will top the group on 6 points. The French will finish on 5 points. So it's delicately poised there. I suspect all three of them will qualify. It's just a case of, or a matter of the position, which is first, second, or third. But I fully expect Germany to win, beat Hungary, finish on 6 points. I think Portugal may do, just what is required of them, which is get 1 point against France. And it will be Germany, France, and Portugal in that order.
Germany, France, Portugal in that order.
Second facing England, just like you predicted earlier.
All right, we'll see. Fingers crossed. We'll see how that group ends up later tonight. Let's talk about Group E quickly. That's the group that's got Slovakia, Spain, Sweden, and Poland. And it's a very interesting group as well. How do you see this one panning out?
I think the Swedes will qualify. They were super impressive in their last game, I think, against Slovakia. They've held Spain already. So I fully expect them to beat Poland, who held Spain as well. Spain have had a slow start to the tournament, but I fully expect them to beat Slovakia today because they're one of the big teams in this competition. And I guess the COVID nightmare they had might have been responsible for their slow start, but now they need to shake it off. Sergio Busquets, who tested positive to COVID, joined the team the last game. But, COVID doesn't just go away like that without leaving some after effects. So maybe the team is still in some kind of shock to have gone through that sort of episode. But it's been 3 games now, and they probably don't have any excuses again. As a matter of fact, they are condemned to find the performance and the result, else they'll be on their way back home. So I expect Spain to win, and I also expect Sweden to win tonight. The Swedes are very solid, very difficult to score against, very difficult to beat. And they look really good in attack as well, on the evidence of how well they played in their last game.
Indeed. All right, let's get the pre-match thoughts now of the Polish coach, Paulo Sousa.
For us, this is a final, and we need to focus as a final. It's we need to win to keep going, and this is what we look to do it from the first second till the end. To get this victory and return to Poland. The rest, the tiredness, it's physically, and it's not only physically, it's also mental. And mentally, against Spain, we spend lots of energy to think, to take decisions, and of course, he told us till today, we have a number of players not completely recovered. Mentally and physically.
As the Poland coach preparing for what he calls a final against Sweden later tonight. Of course, Cecilia Lewandowski, I mean, the best striker in the world, arguably. I don't know what you think of his performance so far. At the Euros.
I think we'll throw this question to Baden.
Oh, why? Come on.
Sometimes you don't have your top stars coming up. He mentioned Harry Kane earlier. Yeah. Harry Kane is yet to get a goal. And when England, of course, going into Euros, everyone's talking about Harry Kane. Yes, we know he was injured a bit, before the Euros, but he's fit now. But he hasn't, actually hit the ground running. Lewandowski's on the play. Look, has he really hit the ground running in Euros for you, Baden?
I think he's played well overall. He's been their best player, dropping into midfield to pick up the balls and driving his team forward. Always looking for a solution, always inspiring his team. So he's beyond the striker, he's the captain of the team. And I think in both games, he's actually shown great quality. The goal he got against Spain, he had no right getting that goal.
Yeah.
The ball was not necessarily his ball. I thought Aymeric Laporte should have dealt with it, but he bullied Laporte and got his head to the ball and still had a lot of work to do directing it beyond the goalkeeper. And that was exactly what he did to get them that valuable point. But apart from the goal, his overall play has been brilliant. He's been driving the team. He's been full of energy, full of running, full of creativity. I mean, it's very easy just looking at the Polish team to know who is the star of the show, to know who is their best player, without a doubt. So I think Robert Lewandowski, if he had maybe better quality players around him. If he was playing for the Germans or playing for the French, we'll be talking about him scoring a couple more goals already in this competition. But it is what it is. He's from Poland, and he's their all-time highest goal scorer. Is maybe their all-time best player based on how good his career has been for Dortmund and Bayern. And on the international stage, even his goal-scoring record bears testament to the fact that he's their leader, he's their best player on and off the pitch, is their talisman. And I think it's proven that, like I said, they had no right to get that goal against Spain and get the point, but he ensured that happened. So I'll give him an 8/10 for his performance so far in this competition.
Oh, that's interesting. So you got your answer, right?
Yeah, that's an A minus.
No, A, just A.
Just A.
A, just A. Yeah, A plus could have been like, when it's 9/10.
That's why I say A minus.
No, just A. Yes,
all
no
right,
minus.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, the coach actually mentioned fatigue because of the way they played against Spain on Sunday evening, and now they don't even have time to recuperate and be ready for Sweden. Will that really affect them in this game tonight? The fact that they didn't rest well, they didn't have enough time to really rest.
Yeah, the games have been coming thick and fast, but it's not for one team. All the teams in the competition can lay claim to fatigue, especially because these Euros have come right after a very difficult season. Remember, the last European season, they didn't have any preseason because of the impact of COVID. So these players have been going back to back like 2 seasons and then straight on to the Euros. Some might argue, well, they had some break when COVID just hit and nobody could play football. But the truth of the matter is that they are not machines. They played last season, had no breaks in between, played another season, and then now to the Euros. So yeah, some element of fatigue, but national pride, the quest for national honor, the quest to compete and win, which is inbuilt in every professional, that passion, that appetite, that hunger always kicks in, and then the physical part follows. Your body will just align with all of the desire that you have, and you go on the pitch and you do your business. So I don't think there is anyone who's more fatigued than the other. All the teams have players who are playing in the top league in Europe, and so everyone can claim to be fatigued. But in spite of all that, they still have to go on the pitch and do the business.
That's what it is. Thank you so much, Bada, for joining us to talk Euros this morning.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
After this break, we'll be looking at some other events taking place in the water sports. Welcome back. There's still so much to talk about on the program. We just have 5 minutes to go, right? Yeah. All right, Tayo. Yesterday we had one interview on Francis Ngannou talking about the fact that they want to bring UFC to Africa, but then facilities are needed because we talked about the fact that, the welterweights, the middleweights, and of course, the heavyweights are all from Africa. Ngannou is from Cameroon, Kamaru Usman is from Nigeria, and Israel Adesanya is from Nigeria. And this summer isn't talking about the dominance, because the fact that you're having all these brothers, in Africa simply means that, well, UFC, it's something that we can really grow in Africa, especially in Nigeria. Of course, Mayowa Adegoke was the one who's been interviewing him concerning how we can actually grow UFC in Africa.
That doesn't matter how long it's going to dominate the welterweight division. I think the most important thing that we have to point out here is the dedication, where he came from and where he get to, is to understand that it's possible. I think that's what I have learned from his journey, from his career. From where he was to where he is very impressive, and it's something that we all related into. And then as far as his professional career, I think he can dominate as long as he will keep fighting. But it's a fighting business, so everything can happen. You wake up a fight day, maybe you're hurt or you get sick. You don't tell nobody. You go there and fight. Just hope that it's going to be okay. So you never know what happened in the fight. You don't win. You don't lose a fight because you are not good or because the other guy is better than you. Always, So finger crossed that I'm knocking the wood that everything will be good. But as far as what he has done, I think is more than enough. It's more than enough. Nobody could have expected that. Nobody, he wasn't meant to be there as well. It's not like he grew up in the great environment and in the gym, or the good background. No, he struggled, he hustled to get there. So this is what I'm taking. This is my version of champion that I have seen in him. Obviously, he's great to be the UFC champion. I mean, I'm not taking anything out of that. I'm not shutting that list, but the other factor came before the professional one.
Exclusive interview done by Mayowa Adegoke, our Dubai correspondent, with Francis Ngannou, talking about Kamaru Usman, his dominance in the UFC welterweight division.
Yeah, Cecilia, I mean, Usman has been so dominant, he's starting to lap his opponents now. Now he's fighting guys he's beaten already and beating them well and again. Same for Israel Adesanya as well, too. His last fight was against Marvin Vittori, someone he had already beaten 3 years ago. So it's not just a fluke. These guys have not just stumbled on being champions. They look like they'll be reigning for a long time to come. Yeah.
And they worked their ways to get there. It was not just handed over to them. They had to work all
Nothing is handed to Nigerians anywhere. You've got to really go and get it.
Go for it.
Yeah, go get it. And that's what they've done. Shout out to all those guys flying Nigeria's flag, of course, the African continent as a whole too. And hopefully Dana White can make it happen. UFC Africa in 2022. That's what he's saying.
Wait, right? It's going to happen. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk MPFL quickly before we look at the papers. There's a rescheduled game today. And when you're talking about rescheduling, it's
Eimba, of course.
They have loads of
Has
games.
to involve Eimba.
Abia Warriors and Eimba. After the draw they had the weekend, they need to win this one. Any rescheduled game right now, Eimba, understand,
That's
they
a
need
tough
to win
one,
it.
though.
Yes, it's a tough one.
Yeah,
away at Abia Warriors. Can they do this? Is more like a derby for them.
Yes,
Abia
it is.
Warriors, Eimba.
We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, it's happening today. All right, that's the rescheduled game from Nigeria Professional Football League for Eimba, who crashed out of the continent. Papers now before we leave the studio, Tayo.
Yeah.
I will start with Complete Sports. In Complete Sport here, you have Gennett Ross says, it will be difficult for home-based Eagles to beat Mexico.
Yeah, I think that's very obvious. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully.
Now, I love the fact that he has now used home-based Eagles. I mean, he said they're not Super Eagles, they're home-based Eagles. The Super is out of it. Austin Eguavan is the man that will be in charge of the home-based Eagles in Mexico, but he will be there giving technical support.
Okay.
All right, Mikel meets with Dangote and Sanwo-Olu. That's to better lives of Nigerian youth through sport. This is a great one, and Israel Adesanya is UFC 263 top earner. Okay, 263 top earner. This is a great one. Yeah, so much money.
Yeah, of course. Of course, as a champion, as the main headline event, so it's bound to end.
Of that particular,
for that particular event.
And Odenkale has been named National Principals Cup ambassador. Okay. This is a great one. All the international stars are already coming home and just helping with the growth of the game. And Sunday Diary, as the sports minister, says our athletes have given us renewed hopes of podium appearance in Tokyo. Yes, we had that interview on Monday talking about the way they perform at the national trials. We're hoping that we can get medals at the Tokyo Olympic Games. All right, that's it from Complete Sport. I have a Sports in Life.
Sports in Life. Very interesting stories. Varane receives our interest from PSG. Very interesting to see if this very, very good defender ends up leaving Real Madrid this summer. Man City willing to include Sterling, Jesus in Kane offer. We're hearing City will be going all out to get their man, Harry Kane.
100 million quid.
100 million quid. For the England striker. Chelsea have concrete interest in Grealish. Also, Jack Grealish in action yesterday for England. Set up Raheem Sterling's winner for the Three Lions. Barcelona is by home. That's according to Adama Traore. Currently plays for Wolves in the Premier League. Genoa is also in the news. Mexico, not a FIFA ranking game. I've talked about this already. Civisport interested in Ogenekaro Etebo. Leicester can afford to sell Wilfred Ndidi.
All right, the final one is Sporting Sun, and here you see have the story from Gennett Rowe opting out of Nigeria-Mexico friendly, saying that home-based Eagles can't win the game. Also, you have the do-or-die clash between Portugal and France coming up tonight. And Patrick Schick almost quit football for modeling. Thank God he didn't do that, because we would have seen that 49-yard goal.
Incredible strike.
Incredible strike. Galatasaray makes Onyekuru's decision. We can't wait for this to happen. Mahrez hooked. Okay, all right.
Who's that?
Okay, it's right there. Sporting. It's just more engaged, more interesting than hook.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a great day.
I am Tayo Salam. Join us again tomorrow.